Hello everybody, welcome into another lesson. So today we're going to talk about multiplying monomials together. So let's say in general you have a variable or any number or variable raised to a power and you multiply it by the same base raised to another power. All it is that base raised to the sum of the two powers. So if I multiply x to the a times x to the b, it's simply the result's going to be x to the a plus b. You just simply add up the powers. So let's get started with some examples here. Let's say we have n to the third times n to the fifth. All that's going to be, you're going to take your base n and then you're going to add your powers, 3 plus 5. It'll be n to the 3 plus 5, or simply n to the 8th. That would be the result you get, would be n to the 8th power. Alright, let's do another example here. Let's say you have a squared times a squared. Well, you're just simply going to add the powers together. You'll have the base a, you'll add the power of 2 plus 2, you'll get a to the fourth. That's what you would get once you add the powers. And it only works if you have the same base. Say it was a squared times b squared, you couldn't add the powers. It only works if the base is the same. That's the only time it works, is if your base is the same. Now let's say we have x to the third times x to the fourth times x to the second. Well, you're just still, they have the same base, so you're going to take your base x, you're going to add the sum of 3, 4, and 2. So 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9, so you would get x to the 9th power. That's the answer you get, x to the 9th power. Alright, now let's say we have something like this. We have 2x squared times 5x to the fifth. Well, whenever you have a constant whenever you have a coefficient that's not 1, if your coefficient is not equal to 1, such as 2 or any other number, you multiply your coefficient still. So 2 times 5 is 10. You would end up getting 10. But then you take your base x and you add the power of 2 and the power of 5, you get 7. So the answer you would get would be 10x to the 7th. That's exactly what you get, 10x to the 7th. Alright, let's say we have 5a to the fifth times 6a to the sixth. Well, again, you multiply your coefficients. 5 times 6, that would give you 30. Now a to the fifth times a to the sixth, you'll have your base a. You add up your powers, 5 plus 6, that's 11. So the answer you would get is 30a to the 11th power. That's exactly what you would get. So yeah, doing these actually isn't that bad. Now let's say we got something like this. You have m squared n times m n to the fourth. What do you do when you have two variables? Well, again, you can only multiply, you can only add the powers of the same base. So we'll start in alphabetical order. We'll go with m. You add the power of 2 plus the power of 1 on this term. And then you'll have that times n. You'll have the power of 1 on this term plus the power of 4 on that term, which then will give you m to the 2 plus 1 is m to the third. N to the 1 plus 4 is n to the fifth. So the answer you would get is m to the third n to the fifth. That's exactly what you would get. And we'll do more examples like that. Let's see, we got y to the third times z, that quantity times y squared z cubed. Alright, so again, let's pick one variable at a time. Let's pick your base y. Y to the 3 plus 2, that's y to the fifth, times z to the 1 plus 3 would be z to the fourth. So the answer you would get for this is y to the fifth, z to the fourth. So you take each variable separately and then you add up the sum of the powers, and that's what you would get whenever you have more than one variable. Alright, let's see. Now we have 2ab, that quantity times 3ab to the fifth. Well, you still have your coefficients of 2 and 3. You're going to multiply those. So 2 times 3 is 6. Then you take your variables one at a time. You have base a to the 1 plus 1, that'd be a squared, a to the second. Then you have your base b, you have b to the first times b to the fifth, 1 plus 5 is 6. So the answer you should get is 6a to the second, b to the sixth. That's exactly what you would get. Alright, let's say we have 5a squared b cubed c times the quantity of 2a b to the fourth c squared. How would you take care of that? Well, start with your coefficients. 5 times 2, that's going to be 10. Then you have your base a. You have a to the second times a to the first, so a to the 2 plus 1, that'd be a to the third. Then you have your base b. You have b to the third times b to the fourth, so b to the 3 plus 4 is b to the seventh. Then you have your base c. You have c to the first times c to the second, so c to the 1 plus 2 is c to the third. So the answer you should get for this is 10a to the third, b to the seventh, c to the third. Alright. I think we're ready to move into some harder stuff here. Let's see. We got negative x squared y cubed times the quantity of 3x y squared times the quantity of negative 2 x cubed y. Well, first thing again, multiply your coefficients. You have negative 1 times 3, which is negative 3 times negative 2. That'd be positive 6. You get 6, and then you have your base x. You have x to the second times x to the first times x to the third. So you're just going to add up the sum of the powers. You have 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 3 is 6. Then you have your base y. You have y to the third times y to the second times y to the first. Well, you have So you'd have y to the 3 plus 2, which is 5, plus 1, which is 6. So the answer you should get for this would be 6x to the 6th, y to the 6th. That's exactly what you would get. 6x to the 6th, y to the 6th. Alright, let's spice it up a bit with some fractions. Let's say you have 2/3 times t to the 4th times 3/2 t to the 2nd. Well, still, you're going to take your coefficients of 2/3 times 3/2. Notice the 3's will cancel out, so will the 2's. You're left with a coefficient of 1. Coefficient of 1, you don't even got to bother to write, but you have your base of t. You have t to the 4th times t to the 2nd. Well, that's going to be t to the 4 plus 2. That'd be t to the 6th. So the answer you should get for this is t to the 6th power. Alright, let's see. We have 2/7 times a to the 2nd power times 21 a to the 5th. Alright. Well, multiply your coefficients. You have 2/7 times 21. Well, the 7 is a factor of 21. We can cross cancel here. 7 is a factor of 21. The 7 goes. 7 goes into 21 3 times. So what you're going to be left with is 2a to the 2nd power times 3a to the 5th power. That's what you'd be left with. Since the 7 was gone and 7 goes into 21 3 times. Now you have 2a to the 2nd times 3a to the 5th. You're just going to take your coefficients of 2 and 3 multiplied together. You'll get 6. Then you have the base a. Then you have a to the 2nd times a to the 5th. So that'd be a to the 2 plus 5. That'd be a to the 7th. So the answer you should get would be 6a to the 7th. Alright, let's see. We have 15 a to the 3rd b all over 2 times 8ab squared all over 10. Well, I can tell you this. Let's start with multiplying these fractions. We know 2 can go away because 2 goes into 8 4 times. And then 15 and 10 both have a common factor of 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then 15 divided by 5 is 3. So what you're going to have is 3a to the 3rd b all over 1 times 4a b squared all over 2. Well, 4 and 2 take care of each other. 2 goes bye-bye. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So what you're now left with is 3a to the 3rd b, that quantity, times 2ab squared. So we do that, you just multiply the coefficients of 3 times 2, you'll get 6. Then you have your base a. You have a to the third times a to the first. A to the 3 plus 1, that's a to the fourth. Then you have base b. You have b to the first times b to the second. B to the 1 plus 2 is b to the third. So the answer you should get for this is 6a to the fourth b to the third. That's exactly what you would get. Once you've done the cross-canceling and the multiplying and adding the sum of your powers, you get 6a to the fourth b to the third. Alright. Let's see, we have 4h cubed k squared all over 7 times 21 hk to the fifth all over 2. Right away we see some things we could cancel with these fractions. The 4 and the 2 will cancel because 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then you got 7 and 21. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So what you're really going to be left with is the quantity of 2h to the third k to the second times the quantity of 3 hk to the fifth. So now we're going to go ahead and add these, we're going to go ahead and subtract, not subtract, multiply. We have 2 times 3, that will give you 6. You have your base h, you have h to the third times h to the first, so that'd be h to the 3 plus 1, that'd be h to the fourth. Then you have your base k. You have k to the second times k to the fifth. Well, k to the 2 plus 5, that's 7. So the answer you should get for this is 6h to the fourth k to the seventh. That's exactly what you should get. Alright. Let's see if I want to do any more examples. Probably one more. Probably at least one more. Yeah, I'll do one more here. Let's see. We got 3x cubed times 1/6 x squared times 8x. Okay, well, we got a three-way multiplication here. So first, let's multiply our coefficients. Well, we notice here between the 3 and the 6, the 3 will cancel out. So if you divide 3 by 3, you get 1. Divide 6 by 3, you get 2. So what you're now left with is the quantity of x cubed times the quantity of 1/2 x squared times 8x. Alright, is there anything else we can cancel? In fact, there is. Between the 8 and 2, if you divide 2 by 2, you get 1. Divide 8 by 2, you get 4. So what you're now left with is the quantity of x cubed times the quantity of x squared times the quantity of 4x. Which now you just multiply the coefficients. 1 times 1 is 1 times 4, that's 4. Then you got your base x. You have x to the third times x to the second times x to the first. So that's x to the 3 plus 2 plus 1, which would be 6. So the answer you should get for this should be 4x to the 6th power. So in general, when you're multiplying, when you multiply two monomials, two terms that have the same base, if they have the same base, you just simply add the sum of their powers. if you have more than one variable or quantity being multiplied, you got to do it with like basis. So if I had x and y, I'd have to consider the x term separately from the y, multiply this, I'd have to add the sum of the x powers to get the x term to what power it is, and then the y, I'd have to do the same. So in general, whenever you multiply two monomials, if they have the same base, you just simply add the sum of their powers, and that's what you'll get. So that's been it for this lesson. The very next lesson is going to be raising powers to powers. We will teach on that. I hope everyone has a good night. Take care.